the investor and CEO of Intoware, and it's my pleasure to start off the hosting of this. Let me ask my colleagues to introduce themselves as they go forward. So I'll go over in alphabetical order. Brad.
Hi everyone, my name is Brad Pluck. I'm the CRO Intoware, and yeah, thank you for joining us.
And I'm Sean. I'm the COO, and yeah, really pleased to be presenting to both existing and potential new partners today.
Okay, thank you guys. You'll get a chance to learn about them a bit more during the course of the short session that we've had. So let me just tell you through what we're trying to do here. Really what we're trying to do is show you what potentially becoming a partner, or if you're already a partner, thank you very much, show you what potentially becoming a partner does for WorkfloPlus and for you, and also to give you an idea of what WorkfloPlus is capable of and how it can really enhance the solutions that you can offer your end customers and make them a lot stickier. So the way we're going to do this is I'll go through a very high level, the partner benefits, and then I'm going to hand over initially to Brad, who's going to take you through a little short demo of what it is that we do and why we do it. And then we're going to ask Sean to take you through a bit more about how we keep our customers happy, how we want to help you keep your customers happy, the current status of the product and where we're going in the future, and also touch on some of the ideas that we've got and practicalities of what we've got within the AI side. And then, of course, there'll be a chance for you to answer any questions at all at the end. If you do want to ask questions, then at the bottom of your screen, you will see a box towards the right-hand side that's got 9 dots in it. If you click on that, you'll see a section called Q&A, and in there you'll be able to ask your question, and Sean is going to moderate those at the end, and we'll put the question to the relevant person in order to be able to answer those. So without further ado, because we want to make sure we keep this short and sharp, because we appreciate your time is valuable, we'll get started. So why do we think you should become an Intoware reseller? Well, hopefully we're going to demonstrate that we're going to give you something in the case of WorkfloPlus that offers you the opportunity to give a market leading solution that really does drive efficiency and compliance. Many of the things that businesses are now looking for is in the area of productivity and efficiencies, but at the same time, through evidential capture, to be able to ensure that they're compliant. Our tools are here to empower the end user. It's in order to make them more productive for the customer. If we do that, it clearly adds significant value to their businesses, and you'll see that in some of the examples that Brad will give. But it makes you a respected and trusted partner in their journey as they go further forward, because you are bringing them this kind of solution that will help them. It also means for you that you start to become part of a recurring revenue model, a revenue model that can give you high margin returns, because we understand that you want to make sure your customers keep coming back to you for more and that you can retain them. Now, why do we say that? Well, we do have a small direct customer base within the UK. And in that, over the last 2 years, not only have we got 100% customer retention, we have not lost a single customer. We've also, within that customer base, grown the amount of business they do with us by 30%. Compound annual growth each year. And in fact, in the first quarter of this year, we've actually had an increase of 51% off of one of our customers. And the other customers that were due for renewal in the quarter have also retained and stayed with us and grown. Not quite 50%, as we would hope they all would, but continue to get that growth of 30%. We want to show you why WorkfloPlus does that and what we can do to help make sure that your customers do the same when you get there. We're committed to your success. We will be offering the various ways of doing that through a tiered framework, marketing development funds, not for resale licenses for the whole of your sales team, and targeting marketing campaigns working with you, because we want you to be successful for your end customers. By doing this, we know that WorkfloPlus helps streamline workflows. I'm not just going to talk about this up in the ether. Brad is going to talk to you about real life practical examples, a couple of case studies in specifics, but also to take you through some other ideas and ways that we do it. You receive performance-based rewards based on the total order value for any customers that you take and any growth that comes from them. And we're here to help incentivize your efforts to do that. But to me, the key is that it makes you a trusted partner with your end customers. And it also makes them very, very sticky when it comes to the way they look at the services that you can deliver to them. So that is a very simple why we think it's beneficial for you to be a reseller. But you want to know how easy it is to sell WorkfloPlus and what the benefits to your end customers are so that you can show them there is a reason to do this. So I'm now going to hand over to Brad for him to be able to take you through the next part of that.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you very much. And yeah, welcome everyone. Great to be talking to you. Great to see some existing partners on there and friends who we work with all the time, and great to see some possible new partners. And yeah, to take you through WorkfloPlus. WorkfloPlus has obviously been around for a few years now, but the product's fast moving and it's adapting to what our customers are telling us and what the market is telling us as well, as in new features, new way of working. And I think the best place to start is to kind of just have a quick look at where the product is today. So Keith, if we could just move on to the next slide, and then we'll have a little look at a very good bit. I was going to demo it myself, but Louise from our customer success team does a far better job than I do. So we'll take a little look through this product, this little product demo now. Cheers, Keith.
As the operations manager for a building maintenance company, Craig needs to ensure that the company adheres to the latest rules and regulations, and he needs to be able to quickly provide the evidence to prove this when needed, which is why he has decided to digitise his existing paperwork and checklists using WorkfloPlus. He used the AI-powered workflow editor to create a procedure that will capture all the information he needs to make sure that rules and regulations are met. Craig then assigned the workflow to his team, so they instantly have the most up-to-date way of completing the task. He then schedules the job so the team can meet the customer's deadline. The digital form is then completed on site. Each step in the process is time-stamped with the photo evidence needed to prove that industry standards have been followed throughout the installation. This provides Craig with real-time confirmation that the job has been completed. So he not only has an accurate view of what is happening on site, but he can also invoice the customer as soon as the work has been completed to reduce the payment cycle. An integration with a business intelligence system provides an in-depth real-time view of the company's whole operation, allowing any issues to be identified before any problems arise. Thanks to WorkfloPlus, Craig can relax knowing that he has all the evidence that he needs to prove compliance rules and regulations have been met.
Craig looked very relaxed after that, and that's the sort of service we like to see one of our customers taking advantage of. So look, if you know WorkfloPlus, I think even that video would strike up a couple of questions where our product's moving all the time. But for the new people on the call as well, I'll start at the beginning. Yeah, Intoware has been going since 2015. UK-based company. We're based in that big donut-looking building on the left-hand side. In Nottingham, in the university. But if you are local to the UK, you'll know my accent is definitely not from the East Midlands. And we have a very strong remote environment for the team as well. We look after our own product. And I think that's very, very important to get across. We have our own development team, we have our own developers, we have our own testing, we have our own customer success. And that's very, very important, because what it allows us to do is really develop the product to fit the customer requirements and the market requirements we're seeing on a day-to-day basis. Keith, next slide, please. So, WorkfloPlus, that's our product. Our product was designed to help reduce paper and pen in the working environment, built for digital instruction. And what's so important, what's so good about our product is it is a cloud SaaS-based product, but it's app-first technology as well. So yes, everything focuses back to the cloud, everything's saved to the cloud, all the data's there, all your controls, all your management, all your flow building's done at the cloud. But all the operators in your customers' environments who are going out and completing processes, completing inspections, maintenance, etc., they all can use the apps. So they can download it for Android, iOS, and they can also download it for wearables as well. So that allows the native apps, app-first technology allows those operators to go out into the field and work in both Wi-Fi, 4G, 5G, but also more importantly, they're able to run offline as well. So let's just take a little look at why people buy WorkfloPlus and why people engage with us. Return on investment. Everyone says return on investment is the most important. Return on investment is a confirmation of a need. Now, in my experience, most people do buy for three general reasons, and that is to improve their top line, increase their bottom line, or generally to reduce risk. WorkfloPlus is one of those lucky products that ticks all three. So what are the common challenges we see in the industry? The common challenges we see in the industry is paper-based processes. We're lucky enough to talk to some global companies directly and through our partners, and pen and paper is still very dominant in operations at this time. If they're not using pen and paper, they're running siloed systems. And those siloed systems, for a great example, could be things like Excel. And they run a process and they fill the data in Excel, and then the Excel spreadsheet gets shared to another colleague who makes a copy of that, and then another copy is made of that, and another copy is made of that. There's no actual siloed system running the data. There's no standardized procedures, leading to inconsistencies, no execution, no version control. Something we've seen with pen and paper more than once is when new versions are created, it can take weeks, it can take months to get it across the whole team and distribute it properly. Limited visibility. There's no visibility at the moment of what's happening, where cause and effect sits in a business. If there's a problem, what's being done to correct it. The skills gap. I think if you sell tech in the AR industry, XR industry, or you're in digital workflows and that, one of the most common things that comes up with a lot of customers is the skills gap. You know, how are we going to take all this knowledge that exists in a generation's mindset or experienced staff, and how can we pass that along to this generation and to the generations to come? No compliance, risk. You know, we've seen it from just the simplest of things of work risk assessments being done before or after the process is being done. We have seen lost paperwork on risk assessments and businesses having to settle these arguments without the evidential data of what actually happened. And device lock-in as well. You know, companies are limited to using PDFs with no interaction. And again, some of the devices they use are still pen and paper, so it's a notepad and pen. You know, WorkfloPlus can help eliminate all these pain points. Digital standardized workflows, accessible on any device, and they can be distributed in seconds to both local teams and global teams. Seamless integrations. Now, WorkfloPlus is ready to go out the box, plug and play, but we can help businesses achieve their goals, achieve their targets of what they want to achieve with data, what they want to achieve on their digital transformation by integrating WorkfloPlus into their architecture. Real-time data and analytics. Not only does WorkfloPlus, as you've seen from the video, instantly create reports, and it can create multiple reports based on multiple needs from one flow or multiple flows. But what it can also do is drive real-time data, real-time insights as procedures are not being completed, but as each step is being completed. So again, allowing businesses to have the foresight and the ability to make real-time decisions. It automatically reports, stores, archives as well, date, time, stamps, geo-stamps, all that information, all that evidential data is picked up, the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why, and then what's going to happen next as well. And again, with the ever-changing sort of markets we deal with, so we deal with pharmaceutical manufacturing, defense, it may be maritime, it may be mining, all these different industries, we can work offline and allow these companies to collect the data, and all these attributes are what you can take out to the market and help your customers drive efficiency. Keith. So why do businesses love it? You know, it does streamline operations dramatically. You know, there's no admin. Admin's gone. You know, operators can go out, they can put the data in, they can input data, they can complete their reports, and these reports are instantly fired. All the data is instantly collected and goes on to the next stage. Device agnostic is very, very important to customers. There are many use cases out there. Some use cases would use headsets. Some use cases would use phones. Some use cases use tablets. There's even use cases where companies want to use desktop. They may have management sign-off as processes are being completed and not everyone's in the field. WorkfloPlus allows that flexibility, and it doesn't device lock in. So it's not, oh, you can all go phone, you can all go tablet, or you can all go headset. You can mix and match, given true flexibility, instant deployment. You can build processes in. We've integrated with systems that hold SOPs, hold O&M procedures, and ingested them into WorkfloPlus. Easy to deploy, easy to create teams, easy to create individuals, and unlimited flows. So it's easy to add more and more use cases of your customers in. Simple integration as well. API ready to play with other systems and ready to be part of a larger architecture or run standalone on its own. And it allows businesses to make data-driven decisions. You know, you think of the future, you think of what we talk about these days, as well as business intelligence, artificial intelligence, and you think of how that data is collected in operations at the moment. This gives you a great opportunity to create educated data sets, locked down data sets, and clean data sets for the future as well. So it's built for any kind of business. Now, we have some very, very small companies, and we have some very, very large organizations using WorkfloPlus. If we look at the small first, WorkfloPlus offers free trials. So Keith mentioned the not for resale licenses for all your staff, so you can go out and demo it. One of the key aspects of anything in change management and digital transformation is getting people to start using it. So free trials are a great way, and we offer free trials to any of our customers, both small and large, to start using it. It's completely plug and play for small companies. It has its own online editor which builds flows. You can build the flows manually. You can even use AI to build processes now as well. So they can start a digital journey the moment they open the box. No code. The flows themselves are very much drag, drop, enter your data. There's no code needed, no developers needed, no setup costs needed. It's getting it in front of your client and getting it into a real world use case as soon as possible, which does allow them to see the efficiency, reduce risk, and that helps them see rapid return on investment on what they're trying to achieve. It's SaaS. So again, there is no setup, there's no infrastructure needed for smaller companies. The cloud's there, we offer multiple environments based on where the client is, and it's ready to go straight away. They can buy 1 license, 2 licenses, 3 licenses, start as no minimum purchase. The AI Flow Builder gives that educational step, and we'll go through this a little bit later. I know Sean's going to cover a little bit this off. It just gives that stepping stone to allow companies to quickly create processes from scratch in a digital environment using AI to prompt them on what is needed for that style of process. And the native app's available to everyone. It's on the Google Store. It's on the iTunes Store. You know, it's available in APK. So basically customers can deploy it instantly. If we move on to the larger organizations, we offer proof of concepts. We have done various proof of concepts with major companies all across the world on helping them achieve, based on use cases, what they can do, how they can do it, how we can scope out the larger architecture, and then through systems like SharePoint and Power BI, we help them see data movement at the same time as well, while scoping out larger architectural integrations to systems like SAP. It's scalable across teams and sites. Everything's controlled in WorkfloPlus. You see what's relevant to you, and you see what's relevant to your team. So you could have 500 flows and 1,000 people. If I log on and I'm the operator that only has 1 process, I will see the 1 process that is relevant for me and the scheduled time. Enterprise grade integrations. We have integrated systems like SAP, IBM Maximo, where thousands of processes are already stored in a system. So naturally, a large organization will say, well, we have our digital processes. We don't want to create them all again. So we have ways of integrating and ingesting those processes into WorkfloPlus. And the reason businesses always want to use WorkfloPlus in this environment is how simple the system is to use and the user experience for the end user, which is paramount in any deployment. It's available in a very flexible way, private and on-prem. So we have talked about the SaaS, that's available to everyone, of course. We offer private solutions. We've deployed in Microsoft Azure private. We've even deployed in AWS private. And that isn't just for big organizations, some smaller companies as well, really looking after their IP and their data, have deployed it. We can even deploy in bare metal on-prem as well. So we can offer true flexibility to your customers. And again, the AI flow builder as well. Not only can it be used on the SaaS system, we could integrate that flow builder to specific data. That could be a large language model, that could be a RAG setup, or anything that the customer stores its data in, and we could use it for specific flow building and specific features. And again, in a lot of organizations, the native app is a key selling point. Again, it allows online, offline working, which is a massive bit. And again, the total flexibility is a huge, huge driver for a lot of the customers who purchase. We have the ability to deploy this app on any of these solutions and mix and match. So we have customers who will use AR devices, maybe like the RealWare, and they will use them for specific use cases. But when they go to another use case, which doesn't need to be hands-free, they will log out and they will log on to tablet. The supervisors and the managers may log on to processes and flows from desktop, but what it allows you to do is use case-driven recommendations with software and technology, because it has to be based around the use case. You unfortunately can't always stick square pegs in round holes. So what WorkfloPlus allows you to do is create that flexibility. And then looking at those larger ones, the integrations are massively important. And here's just a selection of some of the integrations we've done. SAP, Maximo, Active Directory. So obviously when large organizations integrate with WorkfloPlus and they have 2,000 staff or 500 staff, they don't want to have to change everything in every system every time a staff member leaves or arrives. They can do it for one central point. Business intelligence and dashboards is massive. It's a huge part of our business. And we've even had customers and partners who go on and commercialize the dashboards to their customers as well. SharePoint, remote expert, ERP, CMS, CRM, doesn't matter what sort of data-driven system it is, we can integrate. We're API ready, and we've discussed things like LLM and RAG. Why it's important to customers is one true source of data. Customers want to keep that one true source of data. If they do use a system like SAP as an easy example, and the data's there, they're going to want the process completed and the data to loop back. It creates automation. Everything happens in real time. All the reporting's done, all the forwarding data is done, all cause and effect is covered. With remote expert solutions being able to integrate into WorkfloPlus, so live operators can use both, it reduces the carbon footprint because no one has to move, no one has to fly out, no one has to help someone on an oil rig. It reduces paper as well, and paper purchases as well. And we've seen some processes that are using thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of sheets of paper on a monthly, quarterly, and annual basis. Compliance, evidential data, reduce risk assessments, make sure health and safety is covered, proof of work, so who, what, where, when, and why, analytics and business intelligence, driving better decisions for the future, data management, so you can lock answers down. And one of the greatest examples I come across every time is businesses have different people answering the same question differently, regionally, nationally, and internationally. The reason being is human beings naturally describe things slightly different. Workflows allow you to lock answers down by using things like multiple choice. So you can lock answers down and get consistency of data. So we can't help you with your past data. You might need to clean that up. The worst thing in the world is to make an investment in digital transformation and still have data to cleanse in the future. So they allow us to do that, and that leads on to AI strategies, educated data sets that you can fine-tune models for the future and really make an impact long term. So why resellers win with WorkfloPlus? There's a high demand. There's a huge demand in the key markets. Manufacturing, there's a lot of opportunity at the moment. Energy, utilities, infrastructure, mining, and maritime are all seeing a drive towards digital transformation in their operations. Recurring revenue models, consistency of revenue, security of longer term deals are all a massive plus to any business. It is very simple to demo. It is so simple to demo. A lot of it's more about listening, understanding what they're trying to achieve and what the use case is. It makes it very easy to sell. Full support from Intoware. We'll support you in the sales process. We'll support you in the marketing process. We'll support you on the development, the scoping, feature development, and our customer success, which Sean will talk about very, very soon. We'll support you all the way through this because it is a true partnership. So yeah, a bit of proof in the pudding is always good. So just a couple of examples, and feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to give some more. Petrofac. Now, Petrofac are a global company who facilitate oil and gas. They do everything from commissioning to decommissioning, brownfield and greenfield sites, oil rigs, green energy, and they've been using WorkfloPlus for their customers. So they trust us enough not only to purchase the software for us, but deploy that to their end users as well. And their end users are companies like BP, Shell, and some of the bigger names in the energy sector. All those companies have CMS systems that are live. A good example here is this customer had IBM Maximo. All their campaigns of work are stored in Maximo. And a campaign of work could be made up of 10 processes. It could be 10,000 processes. And they're all standard operating procedures, O&M procedures. We have integrity procedures. Naturally, they want to get the best user experience out to the people on the rigs and in the field. So they took advantage of WorkfloPlus, integrating the systems together, using it for a whole host of different requirements in the industrial environment, looping that data back to the IBM Maximo. But our system as well that we've deployed from even takes in consideration cause and effect, which basically means if there's a problem with an inspection, you need maintenance. Our system does that and automates all these procedures whilst automating the data, whilst automating all the reports to every stakeholder.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm going to talk about delivery and growth today. So as the COO of Intoware, my job is all things delivery. So helping get the product developed in the right way with the right features that our customers need and per the market's requirements, get the product into customers' hands and get them using it and getting value from our product straight away. So I'm going to go through this. So we'll start off with customer success. This has been around. This term's been around the industry for a long time now. So everyone on the call will be familiar. So obviously, customer success is all about proactively working with customers in partnership to drive value as quickly as possible. And when our customers get value from our product, they stay with us. They stay sticky. They grow. And we're going to talk about some of that success in a minute. But with our partners, with our resellers, we work really closely with our partners and resellers to try and drive a successful strategy around customer success. With all of our direct customers, every customer has a customer success plan that is put in place with each customer to set shared objectives and goals with the customer around how they can drive value out of their subscription to WorkfloPlus. And this is all about delivery to customers. So we engage, we convert, so that's a sales cycle, and then we work on retention of that customer, loyalty of that customer, and ultimately heading through to nurturing that relationship and growth. And we will work very closely with you on that strategy. And there's a good reason for this, and we've had a lot of success. So Keith, can go to the next slide. So where are we with the product? So Brad's spoken all about the products and what it delivers and the various ways that it's easy to adopt and integrates and delivers value to customers. On the technical side, we've released our new platform over the last couple of years. Our new platform is really all about flexibility. So our older platform was really about audit trail capture. So it was about a person goes and does a process and completes that process and captures valuable data. The new platform is also about that, but it's also a lot more about collaborative working and cross-platform working. So you can now set up much more complex bodies of work, and multiple people and teams can work together to get that work done. And there's a whole host of new features, far too much information to go through today, but we'd be more than happy to take you through a full demo of the system and its capabilities. But there's some really, really, really powerful features in the new platform. Next slide, Keith. It's worth touching on our new AI platform that we've built into WorkfloPlus. The first of our kind of AI features, and Brad showed it in the video that we looked at, is the process creator. So we have built an AI tool into our workflow creator, our new web-based workflow creator. So you can build a process from scratch, and it's almost like Visio for those that are familiar with it, where you're connecting up a process, and that's the process the user is going to follow. But often companies need a helping hand, or they need to get started. So we've built the AI generator, so you can ask it to generate you a process for anything you like, a daily vehicle inspection to make sure it's safe to use for the day, anything you like. And you can also ask it to generate it in different languages. So if you're an international business, you can ask it to generate your process in English, and then in Portuguese, and then in Chinese, Mandarin, or in Arabic, or whatever it is that you need. So it's a really, really powerful feature. And again, we'll be more than happy to demo this to you on a one-on-one basis. And then lastly, I just want to touch on the future direction of WorkfloPlus. WorkfloPlus is a platform. We're always trying to look to the future and how we can drive more value into customers. And that's our goal. It's how do we make this drive value into our customer base and become more sticky? So there's kind of two wider categories you're looking at. So one is, where's WorkfloPlus as a product going? So today, and as I mentioned, today the new platform is about audit trail capture, completing processes, staying compliant, following processes and generating reports. So the benefits are all the things that Brad spoke about. Much less manual effort. You don't have to manually write up reports anymore. You don't have to worry about operators not following the right process steps or missing steps. You've got an audit trail for compliance purposes. It does all of that today, and it's really, really valuable to our customers. What we want to do is expand it out to be more of a complete operational package. So at the moment, it's used for the execution of the work. But things like if you're managing assets, so for example, you have a load of machinery in your manufacturing plant and you're inspecting it on a regular basis. The records of what state is that machine in, what type of machine is it, when was it last inspected, when it last inspected, did it pass or fail, what's the state of that machine? So that kind of asset record system we want to build into WorkfloPlus so that it makes it easy to do that. We want to do things like management of tools and equipment and people and resources. So I've got this work being done out in the field. People are going out to the field and carrying out work. Who's available? When are they available? When are they on holiday? What's their availability like? Who's off sick? How can I use the system to help me manage who's doing what? And things like availability of tools and equipment. So we're going to expand WorkfloPlus out to be a much wider operational system, so it becomes the system our customers use to operate their entire business. And that's where we're going. So it's going to be really exciting. On the other side, on AI, we want to use AI to drive value. So there's a lot of hype in the industry about AI at the moment, and as there should be, because AI can deliver an enormous amount of value, but it has to be targeted in the right way. So we've got AI features now. Where we want to go is around customer-specific AI. So we want to help customers and the end users doing the work to get context-driven information and guidance. So, for example, a user might be out in the field and they see an error code on a piece of machinery. We want them to be able to ask, what does that error code mean, and how should I proceed? And that information might be a mixture of publicly available information. What does the manual say? What's the error code, and what's the resolution to this error code? The AI can provide that, but it can also provide company-specific information. So in past jobs, when this particular type of issue has been seen, what did the operator do? How did they resolve the issue? What's the most successful way of doing this? So very customer-specific information. You can also do things like compliance-led information. So if you've got a load of workflows and they are heavily driven by compliance, you have to follow this particular type of process, and those regulations get updated. Instead of having to go through and find all the instances where those regulatory changes need to be fed into your processes, you'll be able to ask the system to do that for you, and it will come back and say, yep, based on these regulation changes, these changes will be needed in your processes and workflows. So it's understanding the context of how the customer's operating and using AI to help make their lives easier. So that's kind of where we're going with WorkfloPlus, and it's got a really, really exciting future. And I think it will drive a lot of value into your customer base as our partner.
That's great. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Brad and Sean. Realize that we're coming towards the end of the time we allotted, but we want to make sure that we give some time over to Q&As. So first of all, as I say, thank you. Also, I want to say thank you. I do know, because I can see there are some of our existing resellers on there, and we thank you for that. But also you will know that you are helping drive us, because when we get feedback from customers and resellers, it helps drive us. So people like Kenneth, who was on Savinda, you know, some of them are newer. Kenneth's been with us for a little while, right? But even newer resellers such as Savinda over in India is helping drive where we want to take the company by listening to what they are doing and what they're coming across in the business. So thank you for that. Okay. So any questions, please? This is your time to shine, which is just as well, because that's why there's a bright light coming from my right hand side. For those of you not in the UK, that's called the sun. We don't see it very often over here. Well, that's a lie, actually. It's been around for a little bit this week or so, but it's unusual for us. So I can get a suntan while we're doing there. So Sean, is there any questions coming through at the moment? I'll probably ask you one, Brad, which is, if I was a reseller, I want to know kind of sales cycle times. Can this be a quick sale? Is it a long sale? You know, how quickly can I get my revenue in?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's a little bit different for smaller companies and larger companies, of course. It creates different opportunities, and there's people you speak to. I think offering free trials, proof of concepts and supported trials and those sorts of things are a great way of getting skin in the game earlier as well and getting revenue. Because it is dealing with transformational management, it is a land and expand kind of platform where you want to get an opportunity, you want to build that opportunity around a use case and then find a way of expand it within the business. But yeah, it could range anything from, you know, a few weeks, and we've seen use run till 6 to 12 months for larger organizations to get a proper deployment going.
Okay. Sean, I'm going to ask you a question. I know the answer to some of these, folks, but I think it's important for you to understand as well. You know, we're very proud of our retention rate and our growth. What do you think, from the customer success side, drives that growth, apart from the pure, hey, we do keep in contact with them? Why do people deploy this more and grow?
I think, you know, one of the things with a product like WorkfloPlus is it involves operational change, and that always creates a bit of a challenge because people are used to doing their job a certain way. So we really help to guide customers through that process. So this isn't, when I spoke earlier about this not being reactive, it's proactive. We work with our customers to say, hey, this is typically how our customers have achieved this in the past, and we set out objectives and goals with each individual customer to get there, and we give them hands-on help. So if they are converting some of their existing processes that might be on paper, we help them to get the most out of that. So for example, we might be saying, hey, look, if you're going to convert this paper-based process to digital, you can now start capturing this really rich audit trail information. You can start taking photographs. You can start doing, and ultimately it's about us working to make the lives of the end user easier. And when we do that, we work with the customer and help them to deploy. They get there really quickly. And once this is in, as you mentioned earlier, it's a really, really sticky product. I've worked in the software industry for many a year, and despite my very youthful appearance, and it's a very, very sticky product. We retain nearly all of our customers all the time, and most of the time we grow them. So we've got a really good sticky product here, and I think it's engaging with us on the customer success side will really help our partners to see that success as well.
Okay, I'll add one thing that you touched on there, which is certainly from our point of view, and mine in particular when I talk to customers, it's that end user experience. To get true deployment, you need the person who's going to do it to want to do it, right? Because they sometimes fear that this is something technology will drive them out of the job. This doesn't. This empowers them. And when we deploy with our customers, if they bring those end users into the engage and design stage, then usually we get pretty good buy-in. Okay.
We've got a question in, Keith.
Saw that, and you can probably answer it straight away as well.
Yeah, I'll answer that, yes.
So, ask it and answer it.
First of all, hi Ken, it's really nice to see you on here. I've not spoken in a little while. Does the AI workflow builder support most languages in the creation phase? Yes, it does. I don't think we've tested all of the the world's languages, but the system behind it that we use is a global system, and yes, it does. We've tried out all the kind of normal ones. I mean, we're always doing things like I've tried Arabic and tried Chinese Mandarin and tried Portuguese, German, Spanish, etc. So yeah, it does, and it's actually very good. I had a customer call where I tried it out live in the customer's language. I can't remember what that was now, but I had no idea what it said when it came up because I couldn't understand it, and they were like, "Oh, that's actually pretty good." So it is a really quite impressive piece of kit.
Yeah, true. Okay, look, I realise we're getting towards the end of time, so let me summarize up, which is, partnering with us is going to ensure that you can offer services that we believe align with your customers' end needs, their businesses, what they're trying to do. I'll go back to it. Trying to gain productivity, trying to gain efficiencies while remaining compliant. And that really is what's pushing industries to be able to adapt as they go further forward, that constant productivity gain that they need to do. This is recurring sticky revenue. So it becomes sticky to them as a solution. So they need to keep doing it. And as Sean said, they expand, right? And for you, it gives lots of competitive base rewards. So we'll be happy to hear from you more in the future. So please book your one-to-ones, contact us. Our contact details are there. If you haven't got time to take them down, as I say, this will be distributed. But at the same time, you can contact us on Intoware.com and we'll be able to pick up from there. So I think on behalf of all of us, I would say thank you very much for attending. As I say, we have recorded it and we'll be sending this out. And any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much for your time.